Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We often hear people say that life is better with someone by your side. And yes, companionship is beautiful, but today I want to challenge a popular belief. I want to highlight the power, the peace, and the purpose that can come from choosing to be single, especially after the age of 70. One of the most underrated freedoms in life, especially after 70, is the ability to fully control your own time. When you're single at this stage, you're no longer pulled in different directions by someone else's needs, routines, or expectations. You don't have to compromise your morning to accommodate someone else's mood or change your dinner plans because of someone else's schedule. You are the architect of your day. You wake up when your body says it's ready, not when someone else nudges you awake. You go to sleep when your mind is at peace, not when a television show you don't like is still playing beside you. This sense of freedom over your time may seem like a small detail, but it is incredibly empowering. In our earlier years, time often belongs to others' partners, children, employers, obligations. But after 70, especially when you're single, you reclaim that time. You can choose to spend your morning walking in the park with no agenda, sip coffee while watching the birds without checking your watch, or simply enjoy silence without conversation. These moments are no longer wasted or lazy, they are intentional. They are deeply restorative, they are yours. You can also pursue passions that may have been buried for decades under the weight of responsibilities. Want to take up photography? You don't need to explain it to anyone. Want to try yoga, paint a canvas, learn Spanish, or write poetry? You can start today without negotiation. Every hour becomes a vote for your own happiness and growth. You're not limited by another person's preferences. You are not caught in a web of compromise. There is something profoundly motivating about living a life where every moment belongs fully to you. That kind of freedom allows you to breathe more deeply. It lets your thoughts flow in new directions. It opens doors to spontaneous travel, to volunteering for causes you care about, to spending more quality time with grandchildren or friends. You are no longer managing your calendar around another person. Instead, your days align with your own values, your own pace, and your own energy levels. This isn't selfishness, it's self-respect. It's the reward for decades of service, sacrifice, and structure. Now is your time, and when it comes to financial independence, being single after 70 also has significant benefits that people rarely talk about. When you're on your own, you are fully in charge of how your money is spent, saved, or shared. Every financial decision reflects your own priorities. There is no pressure to agree on spending habits, no arguments about budgets, no unexpected financial surprises that come with being tied to someone else's debts or spending patterns. You have clarity and control. You decide whether to downsize or invest in a dream. You can allocate funds toward your health, your comfort, or your hobbies without having to consult or convince anyone else. Whether it's treating yourself to something you've always wanted or supporting a grandchild's education, the power to make financial choices independently can bring immense peace of mind. You're not splitting resources or negotiating over bills. There's no guilt attached to personal spending. You're living within your means, for your goals, and by your standards. What's more, financial independence allows for emotional independence. You are less likely to feel trapped in a situation for monetary reasons. You're not staying in a relationship out of fear of financial instability. You have the freedom to walk your own path with dignity and confidence. That kind of independence breeds self-worth. It fosters resilience. It strengthens the idea that you are capable, resourceful, and fully prepared to lead a fulfilling life on your own terms. At this stage in life, both time and money become your most precious assets. When you are single, you are in the driver's seat of both, and that, more than anything, is what makes this season of life not a decline, but a chance to experience peace, power, and purpose like never before. Emotional peace is one of the greatest rewards of being single after 70. By this stage in life, most people have experienced the highs and lows of relationships. They've learned what it feels like to compromise, to argue, to console, to adjust, to walk on eggshells, or to carry the emotional weight of someone else. When you are single after 70, you are stepping into a space where peace is no longer a hope. It becomes your daily reality. There is no more tension about misunderstandings, no more silent treatments, no more worrying about saying the wrong thing or doing something that upsets someone else. You are no longer responsible for regulating someone else's mood or catering to emotional swings that have nothing to do with you. Instead, your emotional landscape is yours alone. You choose calm. You build your routines around serenity. When life throws challenges your way, you face them without the additional burden of managing another person's reactions to them. You breathe easier knowing that your home is your sanctuary, free from conflict, criticism, or expectations that don't align with your values. That kind of emotional clarity is worth its weight in gold. You spend your energy healing, growing, resting, or simply enjoying each day without tension lingering in the background. There's a deep motivation that comes from living peacefully. You begin to trust yourself more. You listen to your own inner voice rather than trying to be heard in a relationship that may have grown distant or demanding. You can feel your own emotions fully and let them pass without having to explain them to someone who may not understand. It's not isolation, it's clarity. And clarity gives you the chance to focus on what truly matters to you, rather than pouring emotional energy into a relationship that no longer adds value to your life. Being single after 70 also opens the door to one of the most exciting and often overlooked truths. Personal growth never ends. There is a mistaken belief that growth is only for the young, but nothing could be further from the truth. At this stage, you are no longer pressured to grow in ways that fit someone else's idea of success or satisfaction. You are free to evolve according to your own passions, curiosities, and dreams. Growth can look like many things. It can be learning a new skill, starting a new hobby, or exploring ideas that have always interested you but never had space in your busy life. It might be spiritual growth, reconnecting with your faith or your sense of purpose. It might be intellectual, diving into books, history, philosophy, or science. It might be physical, trying new forms of movement like Tai Chi, water aerobics, or dancing. What makes growth so exciting after 70 is that you're no longer doing it to please anyone else. You're doing it for the pure joy of discovery and improvement. There's no rush. There's no pressure. Just steady, meaningful progress toward becoming more of who you truly are. When you're in a relationship, your personal growth often has to make room for someone else's needs or timeline. When you're single, that room belongs entirely to you, and with every new thing you learn or try, you're not just keeping your mind sharp, you're reinforcing the idea that life is still vibrant, still full of potential, still capable of surprising you. That realization builds momentum. It builds confidence. You stop measuring yourself by age, and instead, start measuring your life by depth, richness, and fulfillment. Being single gives you the space and freedom to become a lifelong learner, a curious soul, a creative thinker, and someone who lives with intention. The world is still wide, and your role in it still matters. Growth isn't just for the beginning of the journey, it belongs to every chapter, and when you're single after 70, you are free to make this one of your most inspiring chapters yet. Friendship and community become more vital than ever after 70, and being single gives you the unique opportunity to invest in those relationships with depth, purpose, and consistency. When you're not focused on maintaining a romantic partnership, you have more emotional availability and time to pour into connections that truly uplift and energize you. Friendships in later life are not about social status or convenience. They're about authenticity, laughter, trust, and support. They are relationships built on shared history, common values, or simply a mutual appreciation for life's simple pleasures. When you're single, you get to choose the people who are in your life without negotiation. You don't have to split your social energy or time between conflicting circles or settle for companionship that drains you. You become more intentional about who you spend your time with, and that leads to more meaningful connections. Whether it's a weekly coffee with a neighbor, a phone call with an old friend, or joining a book club or volunteer group, these interactions can provide a profound sense of belonging and joy. Friendship at this age isn't about quantity, it's about quality. The few genuine relationships you cultivate are likely to bring more peace, laughter, and connection than a forced relationship ever could. Community involvement becomes a rich source of meaning. When you show up for others, you remind yourself that your presence matters. Whether you're mentoring, volunteering, or simply being a good listener, your role in the lives of others can be powerful and affirming. Being single also allows you to explore new communities freely. You can join social clubs, religious groups, travel groups, or creative circles without having to worry about whether a partner is interested or available. You meet new people, exchange new ideas, and find companionship in the places that resonate most with your values and passions. These communities often offer not just social interaction, but a sense of purpose, and that sense of purpose becomes fuel for well-being and longevity. The beauty of building strong friendships and community ties after 70 is that you start to redefine what love and connection really mean. It's not limited to romance. It's about shared moments, mutual respect, laughter, and showing up for each other. You realize that emotional fulfillment doesn't always come in the shape of a romantic partner. It often comes in a friend who knows your favorite stories, or a neighbor who checks in on you, or a group that shares your passion for something greater than yourself. By the time you reach 70, one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself is the full acceptance of who you are. Being single allows you to live in that truth unapologetically. You're not adjusting yourself to fit someone else's expectations. You're not waiting for approval. You're not comparing your life path to others. You're living your truth, rooted in decades of experience, insight, and self-discovery. You know your limits. You know your desires. You know your patterns. That level of self-awareness is something people spend a lifetime chasing, and now you get to live it. You are no longer defined by roles like spouse or partner. You are free to simply be yourself. You start to honor your own needs more deeply. You begin to embrace solitude not as a gap to be filled, but as a space where you recharge, reflect, and grow stronger. You discover that your self-worth was never tied to a relationship status. It was always within you. That inner strength becomes your guide. It helps you make decisions that protect your peace, feed your soul, and honor your journey. You start to find comfort in your own company. You become your own best friend, your own source of calm and clarity. That doesn't mean you reject connection. It means you no longer depend on it to feel complete. You enjoy companionship, but you are not afraid of solitude, and that confidence radiates. It draws others to you who appreciate your presence, your wisdom, and your authenticity. Being single after 70 is not about what you lack, it's about what you've finally found. A strong sense of self, a life of your own design, and the ability to love who you are without hesitation. That is not just inspiring, that is powerful. So if you're 70 and single, embrace it. You are not alone, you are free. You are not missing out, you are choosing into a life that reflects your values, your pace, your joy. This is not a chapter of loneliness, it's a season of strength. Live it boldly, own it proudly. And remind the world that life doesn't end after 70 sometimes. It's just beginning. Thank you.